Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's Figure Friday. So, what we're looking at here is the Target exclusive Optimus Prime, and we also have Spot. Really, what this is a retake of the version 2 Prime, as we will get them transformed into here in a minute. And we have an empty trailer from the looks of it. And of course, this was at one time the original or the latest mold that they had done for Ravage. So we have now I'll call them Target and Spot um, series. And just kind of throwing in here, I had gotten these guys off of Amazon. Of course, whenever I can, if they're just unnamed characters. These are just Autobot guards. So I figured if I had two of them, if we get into a Transformers role playing game, it would be kind of nice having two just Autobot guards or whatever, or just general guards in that regard. So either way, this is using the same mold setup that we would see off of um, Ironhide, as well as some of the others. I know that they had come out with some generic ones, and I remember picking them up, and they didn't have the top piece on here, so it was a little bit more cheaply done, not having the top piece, which I think is very iconic to make it look more of a van. I think they even had done during the War for Cybertron. Um, I think that they had some kind of like the nameless zombie bots or whatever. Trying and feeling to remember the names that they had given them, um, and I can't think of it offhand. So first of all, let's kind of look at the trailer because I mean this always fascinates me. What we get for a trailer, what kind of a stand. This is very simple. It does have the front landing gear. Oops, as I keep pounding on my old cobbled together TV tray that I use here in my basement. Um, you know, but this should fold down and this should open up. So I don't know what's going to be easier. All right, so this really is what I thought it was. So this is a rehash of kind of the kind of version one of one of the last takes of Optimus Prime with the trailer. It's nice and open here. Really, this was done as a bed, and then this is, or is, was kind of a medical bed scanner or whatever. Treating it like that because they had Prime um, getting fixed up and repaired here. Uh, just kind of going from there. Now it could be used for other ideas. This does swivel around if I remember correctly, because this is all kind of rehashed from some of the other ones that I've already got, which is fine. I don't mind that. Keeping something familiar, having it redressed up as something new, much like our guards here. That doesn't bother me in some regards, mainly because if you have a nice, easy setup, it works well. Um, and I don't see a big need to change it all up. Um, Sometimes it is kind of nice to have some different colored versions of some of these characters so you can, you know, and of course, if you listen to the channel long enough, you know that I'm always taking this in a gaming aspect. Okay, so for me, being a gamer, I look at it as, hey, I'd like to have um, some differences here. Oops, as I kick Spot out, and then of course, I knock this out of here. Um, Let me try and put it back in. I will say that is one of the nice things for the good or bad of how everything's gone in recent years, but just saying that with the current hinges, they're more forgiving than they used to be. If I was to knock that off years and years ago, um, that toy would then be broken. And today, for a lot of them, because of how the joints are, it gives us a little extra flexibility that, um, if we mess it up a little bit here and a little there, we can easily kind of pop it back in here and things kind of work out. And of course, I'm doing this without the instructions, which I don't really recommend all that well. But the fact that I do remember this, and it does have the matrix of leadership here, as I'm pulling everything around. And then it pulls off again because I didn't have it all fully secured. I had a feeling that was probably going to happen to me, but I knew I had to bring this around at some point. Like I said, I've got the version 2 Prime. I just didn't remember exactly where I stuck them. I know I've got them sitting around here somewhere. I'm just trying to get all this worked out here. All right. This is where all the fun stuff comes in. Do I have this back here good enough yet or not? And as we try to set all this up, as I see his head's back here, as I'm trying to get that flipped around, and his arms out of the box. And I do remember doing this. I don't have the instructions out, and we're kind of just haphazardly going through this. There we go. There's his missile launchers. Like I said, I can see his head is in there, but I'm just trying to remember just offhand how this all worked. As I'm pulling all this up, now we got her. Now I've got the arms free, and I can rotate the arms around, which I've taken that out of step, I'm sure. Just like this. This has got to fold up here, so it's out of the way. Because this actually, we can see that it's got the notches in here. I'm just trying to get it all done up and in the correct sequence here, so that way we don't break it any more than I usually do. Just a little bit more here, and there's that. All right, swing the arms around. And with any of these, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And the hands just kind of rotate out here. See, the box opens, it rotates. I do remember these. Not as senile as I think. Okay, so we got the hand here. That means that we can then move his shoulder pad missile launcher over. Has a nice Autobot symbol. Hopefully you guys are catching this. And the hardest part is I'm doing this and I'm looking at the figure and I'm not looking at the computer screen. So it's not like I'm able to see everything I'm doing. To know that I'm showing you as well as I'm trying to. I always hope I am, but sometimes I catch myself later on and the video is already done, and there we are. Now all we have to do is bring the head around, and then that folds up behind. So he does have a nice little backpack here. There's his legs, and he's sitting pretty good. And in contrast, seeing that we do have one of the guards, look how much taller he does sit. So he does sit significantly taller than some of the guards, which does work out really well because Prime was a taller Autobot. Just like Megatron being a taller Decepticon compared to some of the others. And then when you get Bumblebee and he sits smaller, that is the nice thing I will say in the latest iterations of how they're doing their toys. Everyone has a kind of similar scale to them, so it looks proper when you're looking at them. They don't look out of scale and out of size from each other, much like they did in the old original. Not trying to bash the original. I love the original ones, but sometimes we would look at it and their scales would be fairly off. So you're looking at it in that regard, and it's like, well, geez, the scale's kind of off and things don't look quite right, but here we are, and we just do the best we can. All right, and he folds up fairly flat, or he's supposed to, because he's supposed to be. It was originally a tape deck, or a tape cassette. Cassette tape is actually, I suppose, the proper way of calling it. Not that anyone's used any of these in quite a few years. Alright, because I'm putting this in the wrong sequence again. It does match up here. There's a little notch. So we kind of match. And his leg goes back over here. It's not the easiest trying to show you, I'm sure, because this is all the same color. On the top it works out a little bit more, but on the bottom it's not as easy. Now there is a second piece here because he is able to be held by Prime. They show that in the box. So you can kind of hold him like he's a shield. The nice thing is, and I don't know how well this works out, they do have the target spot drawn in here. There's his nose, his little smile, there's his eye with the circle around it, there's his collar. So yeah, it works out pretty good. I like this. It's kind of neat. I know it's a little, more advertising for Target and all that, and some people like Target, some people don't like Target. I get it, not a problem. But here we are, and he doesn't have a gun. Pulling the box all out. Looking through again, I don't have a battle rifle for him. So, the fact that he's got the weapons right here on his shoulders, he doesn't get an actual battle rifle. Now, these do open up, I believe, and then we have some other weapons. Okay, so I guess to say it in this regard, he's either got the missiles underneath, or he's got the lasers on the top. So you could consider it that way. And of course, we do have the matrix of leadership, or the matrix of target, seeing that this is a Target exclusive. Either way you want to look at it and have some fun with it. To me, it's one of those, I'm just going to call him Target and Spot. That would be appropriate to me because now I have a different character that I can run around or whatever. You can only have so many Optimus Prime running around, so it's kind of nice having someone else. And to have these as the guards. Now, transformation on these is fairly simple. We'll kind of go through that fairly quick. We'll simply just take this off. The nice thing is not only is this a shield, but it also has either, I don't know if you want to consider this as missiles or as laser cannons themselves. And it's got 4 of them here. And that's going to end up in the back. Maybe even jet propulsion, I don't know. And there's his blaster. It's a simple design. I kind of goofed up the first time I was going through it. I'm looking at it, like, I know I'm messing this up somehow. Exactly how am I messing it up? And once I figured out, it's not that hard to sit here and say, yep, okay, that's where I goofed up. We got it now. We do have his bumper in the back. Get his arms up so they're out of the way, and literally we are swinging this all the way around. Let's get the arms out of the way. That does get to be a little bit of a trick. The bumper comes up here, and it just snaps together. It is a little bit of a trick when you're first doing it, but once you get that down pat, it goes fairly nice and easy. Now I'm going to keep futzing with this because I keep knocking it down a little bit more. You do need that up. I mean, I could put it all the way up here like this for now. And then our arms really just kind of slide back. But before we can do that, we have our feet, and then there's this piece right here. Now, this doesn't look like all that much at the moment, But once we get the rear of the van together, there's a little piece here that slides in. And we get our arms in here. And the nice thing is you can use the joints to your advantage here. That covers up the hands. Oops. Straighten all this out. And you have a little helping guide here. Do this because, oh, come on. I'm thinking I don't have something in here correctly. Okay, there's notches here, and what I'm not lining up is I'm not lining these notches up here exactly how it should be. Now that side is, and now that side is. Okay, now we got it. So that helps to strengthen that, and then these line up. So it's pretty good. Next trick is pull the windows, but you pull them a little bit farther out than you want to. These click. Actually, I guess these can go a little farther as well. So you can put this on top. There are some pegs here, so that way it lines up with our mounts. Oh, get in there. Okay. Just kind of push that down a little bit. Everything's sitting good. There's a window. There's a window. Windows are there. And that covers up nicely. Yeah. You know, it's a nice, easy transformation. It doesn't have to be difficult, and I think these work really good for a lot of kids, even us adult kids. And then we can put the blaster on top, and then there we are, rolling down the street. Unfortunately, they're a little big for me to put them in here and close this up. We could possibly put, say, like a Bumblebee, a Cliff Jumper, someone like that in here, and we could roll them around that way if we were so wanting to. I mean, it gives us that ability. I think, you know, Bumblebee's a little smaller. Now, I do have him just close by. So depending on which one we have, see that we did Bumblebee the other day. We have 3 different Bumblebees. Here's the latest version. Prime and back. So I should be able to get Bumblebee just sitting back here, and then we're all set to go. And nobody knows that Bumblebee is playing incognito, and we're just waiting to spring the Decepticon trap. You know, we could even put Spot in the back there with Bumblebee. Now the only thing is because of the size, I guess I can get, and then here I could even put them up on one of the, I can get my thumbnail to work here. Probably put them up on the side. I'm just not going to be able to get, say, like 2 different ones in here. You're going to be able to get 1, but not 2. So, make that up. All set to go. Transform Prime back to where he needs to go. He's not that hard. And we do have the nice joints that they've been keeping lately. Those are wonderful to be able to do that. And of course, we see the knee joints. So this all works out really well. Flip that around. We didn't have to bend this around at all. It's all transforming up in here. So that's where we're going to get our headaches from. Remember, when we're putting a bed, we got to put the hands in here so that way it all works out again. So you can find this currently at Target if you looking for him. He is a current transformer. Head back here. All right. Now we got this actually going back farther. Yeah, I just had it going back farther. Now it doesn't want to. Oh my goodness. Just the silliness that I run into at times. There. See, if I can get that hinge to want to go back like it's supposed to, then I'm doing good. It's when I can't get that to go back, that's when I start running into my problems. Alright, that goes there. And then this all folds up. That folds back down here. And that will lock in. Actually, I suppose I do have to kind of make this a little bit going. That goes here. And actually, what I didn't do is I took it just out of, because I didn't put the arms in here yet. Get just the arms. This folds down. The arms, they fold out. There, like that. The legs fold up. Why am I just having a dickens of a time tonight? That should be this. And I just move the legs back. And there we are. Okay. Well, once I remember everything I'm doing. And we have them as a long nose freight truck. So, works out pretty good. It's not that difficult once we get the hang of it. And of course, you know, like I said, I've done this before. I didn't use the instructions going through this because I've had the experience of doing them as a transformer before, because it's based off of the version 2, which came out a while ago. So, and then they gave them essentially the version 1 trailer. So, it's a nice collection. It's a nice addition to the collection. Unfortunately, because he's Prime and he comes with the trailer and all that, it's a little bit more expensive. He's more the leader class, so the price goes up. Hasbro's not making it any easier on us trying to get these for kids, let alone for us as collectors. So, you know, you just have to figure out if it's something you're willing to spend the money on. But it is what it is. And of course, then we have our nice Spot and Target logo here on the trailer itself. And then we can link the trailer up onto that, and we're ready to roll. So, with that, it's a pretty good figure. I think it's a nice addition. It's just one of those things of, you know, everyone's going to see it in their own light, and that's perfectly fine, and we'll go from there. With that, thank you for stopping by. It's wonderful having you here. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.